This is a case study video project by Mallory Smith. You are 15 minutes into 5th period class. This period is split for lunch. Your students have finished their bell work and you have just finished giving the instructions for the day's assignments to the class. As students are pulling out their materials and beginning to work, there is a knock at your door. It is one of your students who has arrived late. She is carrying a white-to-go box of food in a styrofoam cup. She gives no excuse for being late, simply barges into your room. You stop her by saying, "Hold on, you know the rules. You cannot have food in the classroom. This is not just my rule, but the school rule." She rolls her eyes at you as you tell her this. You decide to let this slide as to not disrupt the rest of the class that is working. You tell the student that she cannot eat the food until class is over and she goes to lunch. Once she sits down, she begins loudly asking what the class is doing. You politely tell her that the assignment is on the board and on Google Classroom. Less than 10 minutes later, she approaches you at your desk. "I need to use the bathroom bad," she says. You remind her that the day before she had chosen to take her one bathroom pass for the week and has no more passes to go. She will have to wait until class is over. She becomes more agitated when you tell her this. "But I have to go. I'm about to pee on myself," she continues. You calmly tell her again that she cannot use the bathroom today. She storms back to her desk angrily. As the students continue working, you hear her talking under her breath, bad-mouthing you. Next thing you know, she's at your desk on the phone with her mother, telling you that her mother wants to speak to you. Ineffective response 1. You let your anger get the best of you. You begin to yell at the student for interrupting your class yet again. You go on to tell the student that you will not be speaking to their parent. This is not effective because you are damaging your positive classroom culture. Losing your temper and yelling at the student becomes more of a distraction to the rest of your students. You are not only drawing more attention to the student, but you have also created more of a reason for the parent to believe that you are at fault. All the parent hears is what their kid tells them and you yelling. This paints you out to be the bad guy. Ineffective response 2. You let your anger get the best of you. You take the phone from the student and answer it angrily. You are rash and very short with the parent. You have a 5-minute conversation, more like an argument, in front of your class with the parent. This is not effective because you are damaging your positive classroom culture. Losing your temper and yelling at the student becomes even more of a distraction for the rest of the students. A phone call in front of the class with a parent is extremely unprofessional. Calls between a parent and a teacher should never take place in front of other students. Not only does it draw more attention to the situation at hand, but responding to the parent in anger will only make things worse. The parent only knows the student's side of the situation. If you are responding out of anger, you could easily upset the parent more. It is important to have parent support in your classroom. Lashing out at a parent in front of the class is not okay. Effective reaction 3. You do answer the phone call, but you step into the hallway. You do not have a long conversation with the parent, though. You simply inform them that you cannot discuss the situation further because you are in the middle of class, but you are happy to schedule a meeting with them. This is effective because by stepping into the hall to continue the conversation, you are removing the distraction from the room. This can help to keep the whole class focused. You are addressing the parent in the situation to let them know that you do care about the parent's feelings and you would like to discuss the situation further. Now that the parent knows you wish to include them, but you are unable to do so at the moment because you are in the middle of class. Effective response 4. You simply ask the student to leave the room. They have already disrupted your class several times. You tell them to have their parent schedule a meeting if they would like to discuss the situation, but you will not be losing any more class time. This is effective because by removing the situation from the room, you have removed the distraction. You want to encourage your positive classroom culture and remove the things that threaten that when possible. You have stated that you are willing to meet with the parent to address the situation, but you will not be wasting any more of your class time to deal with it. Creating hypothetical situations can help prepare teachers to better handle behavioral problems. Thinking through the outcomes beforehand can help you think quicker on your feet. A few things I have learned is that remaining calm is always beneficial. There is no need to add any more fuel to the student's fire. Do what you can to avoid interrupting class time. Not everything has to be addressed the second it happens. It may be best to address the situation later in class. Do your best to be consistent in everything you do in your classroom.